Hello everyone, it's Karina with Karina Loves to Plan. Thank you for joining me in my little corner of the internet where I talk all things planners, fountain pens, and fountain pen inks. And today I'm trying something new, just as another way to use up the inks that I have in my collection. And I've also been inspired by Julia here when she does her lovely inky messes to try and find a good pairing with a particular pen. So the pen that I actually want to find a good ink pairing for is my Just Turnings, and this is in the Pastel. No, this is the Primary Manipulation Light, and I purchased this pen a few years ago. This pen, or the resin, was created by Jonathan Brooks of Carolina Pen Company. He no longer makes the Pastel Primary Manipulation, but he has the Primary Manipulation Light. But I wanted to basically go through my ink collection. I've already curated 8 different inks here that could possibly be a match for this. And I'm going to do kind of my little ink splatters with my Ziploc bag here, and I just thought it would be a really cool way to see what's in my collection, use up what I have, and then I'll be doing a video like this maybe once or twice a month in preparation for my currently inked the following month. But it's also just a great way to play with your pens and inks, but also see what's in your collection rather than just focusing on all of the new ink that's come in. I'm actually going through my whole collection and thinking, okay, this could match and this could match. Let's see what'll work. All right, let's get started. So I have here my Hobonichi notebook with 52 GSM Tomoe River paper. I'll be using my sandwich bag and making sure that it is as wrinkled as possible. And then I've got my plastic pipette here. And then I also have, for writing, my stainless steel Kakimori nib on my River City Penco nib holder. So the first ink that we are going to do is Tono and Lim's Boundary Between Like and Dislike. I think I mostly bought this ink for the name because it's just too fun. So what I'm going to do is take a little bit in my pipette here and actually just take a little bit like this. And sometimes less is more. And because I also want this to dry in a reasonable amount of time, I'm going to take my baggie and then place it over and just push some of that ink through so that it goes through some of those crevices here. Perfect. And then I'm going to wipe off the excess that is here with my towel, which is going to be sitting right here. I didn't have that prepared, but basically trying to wipe off the towel each time I use it. And then writing the name. So we have, writing here, how do I want to do this? Tono and Limbs Boundary Between Like and Dislike. And what I love about the sandwich bag method is that 1, it's easy cleanup, and 2, you can get like really cool shapes like this with very, very little effort. And you're going to see a lot of the beautiful shading properties that are going to come out with this ink. So the next ink, and I'm going to do that right next to here, and I'm thinking like I'm going to do one here. We'll see. The next ink is a Kitty Ink Pot ink. Now it does say Season 1 Write with Wild, but I believe it's called Dissipate the Mist. And I think this one was sent to me by a pen friend, and I cannot remember for the life of me, and I do apologize. So creating little waves like this here, and cleaning off my pipette, and then using the baggie once again, pushing that around. Don't be afraid to move it a bit, and then even lift up your baggie. Oh, I got some purple on there. And doing that as well. So let me dry that off. And then we'll write the ink name. Now I'm like, where am I going to write that? We'll do it here. Kitty Ink Pot Dissipate the Mist. I'm already loving how this is looking. Now I'm just thinking though, do I have enough space? I'm gonna make enough space for everything, but already I'm thinking this is so cool. And what a great way to just play with your ink is just doing ink swatches with a sandwich bag. The next ink I have is Wearingeul White Rabbit, and I really wanted, when it came to the inks that I was going to choose today, an even selection of bottled ink as well as my ink samples, mainly because that's what I'm trying to do with my collection. I want to work through everything that I have. There we go. Maybe a little dot there. And when it comes to doing these ink swatches, there really isn't like a right or wrong way to put your ink down on the paper. And I'm probably gonna get it wet with other ones here. But I also love being able to lift it up and then add some here, here, little splotches here, make it spread a little bit. There we go. And it just adds, it just makes it so that every single splotch is slightly different. And then it really brings out some of the shading properties in here. So we have, where am I gonna write this? That's the problem. Wearing Ghoul. Okay, not the best choice. And then probably down here, White Rabbit. I know this can look really light as well in the swatch, but it's actually worked really well in my pen. So that is Wearing Ghoul, White Rabbit. And oh my gosh, look, it's got a little ear, so it kind of looks like a rabbit there. I mean, a little deranged rabbit, but it looks like a rabbit. Cute. The next ink that I think could be a good match for this pen is Diamine Amber, and you can kind of see some of the orange that's in there as well. And I don't think I've actually used this in a pen yet. I purchased this a few months ago, maybe last year sometime, when I was trying to find a dupe for buttered popcorn. And this was one of the ones that I found on Van Ness Pen's website. So I know I'm probably gonna get a little bit of Dissipate the Mist in here and push it through. Yeah, there's gonna be some mixing that's happening, but I'm okay with that. Cool, yeah, there's a little bit of mixing there, and that's okay because that blending is also happening in the pen itself. So then we have, what was it? Diamine Amber. Amber. Cool. Look at how that is mixing. It's kind of creating a lovely little bit of green there. I really like that. I really like how this is turning out into like this little art project. And what a fun way to still use your inks, even if you're not writing with them. All right, so now I have 4 samples that I want to try out. Now 2 of them I've used before, but then the other 2 are completely new and haven't been inked in a pen yet. So the first 2 are ones that I've already inked in a pen, and they are Sailor Manyo Azuki and Sailor Manyo Kuri. I now have a bottle of this, which I'm very excited for. So I'm gonna put this one on this side here next to Diamine Amber, just to switch some of the colors around here. Gosh, I'm surprised that I haven't done this sooner, because this is such a fun little activity to do with your inks. And what a great way to use even just a tiny bit more as well. Because I mean, we all know that we have enough inks to last us more than this lifetime anyway. So let's go ahead and do my paper baggy swatch. And to be honest, I haven't done this paper bag swatch in quite a while. It's been one of the things I've missed actually. Go, and then again wipe off with my cloth, easy peasy cleanup, and then write the name. I always love the different shapes that come with this too, because it's so organic basically. So Sailor Manyo Azuki, that's a beautiful pink, and I think it matches with the pen really well. Oh, I love that. There's so many beautiful colors in this pen that it was difficult to just even round it to these 8 selections for inks, but I had to pick 8. So Sailor Manyo Azuki is looking really pretty right there. So then right next to it, we'll do Sailor Manyo Kuri. And I've used this in a pen before already, but I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to using it again. So let's go ahead and take a little bit here. And I put this a little closer to White Rabbit because there's some similarities here. So we'll see how much Okay, I love my plastic pipettes because they're just amazing to use. So I'm gonna do it like this so I don't get too much of azuki on there. And lift and press down again. Okay, oh, it looks so much more purple in the swatch. This is what I also love about these, is that they can look so different. And if you tried to do this on different papers as well, I'm sure you would get varied results. So Sailor, Manyo, Kuri. Oh my gosh, I love that. And it looks like this is gonna eat that. This next ink here is Kitty Inkpot, the Phantom of Dawn. And this one I purchased from So-and-So in Australia. So I'm excited to get this in here. So these are 2 new inks in my collection that haven't been inked in any pen as of yet. So one of the things that I'm trying to do with my inks this year is making sure that I'm using both my bottled inks and new samples pretty evenly, because I mean, I bought the bottled inks for a reason, so I really should use them. And lift and blot, and lift and blot. I like that. It's kind of like this grayish blue green, really pretty. So the Phantom of Dawn. Now, one thing I do have to say with these ink swatches is that obviously not all writing samples are going to look like this. Oops. Because if you're writing with, you know, an extra fine or even a fine nib, you may not get all of the complexities in here. But it's still fun to see all of the inks like this on the page. The Phantom of Dawn. Love that. Oh, I cannot wait to see all of these dried, and then we can put my pen down on the page here to see exactly which one would be the best match for my February currently inked. And then the last one, which was my favorite before I did this exercise, so we'll see. It is Diamine Potpourri, and this is from the 2024 Inkvent calendar. And this was the one that I think was my favorite going into currently inked really for February. But I thought, why not try and do this exercise so I can really see what would be the best match. And I feel like I put almost too much down. Like, look at how much ink is there. Spread around, spread around. Spread there. And like that dot, put down there. Okay. Let's clean this so it doesn't get all over my desk, because I've been known to do that on plenty of occasions. And here we go. So we have, where am I gonna write that? I guess down here. Diamine Potpourri. Gorgeous. And that's gonna shade so beautifully. This is the thing, like the artwork here just feels so organic. And I've said that word already, and I'm not trying to be pretentious when I say it, but it does look like it's organic. I'm not trying too hard, and I'm literally using a paper sandwich or bag, a sandwich bag for this. You can see like there's some of the colors that are in here that really match with Potpourri well. There's colors in Phantom of Dawn that match. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to see all of these dried so we can pick the best ink for my currently inked in February. So there are all of the inks now dried, and let's place the pen here to see what would be the best. And I feel like that side is also not the most representative. I feel like I have to turn the pen to get all of the different colors, and I am in love with how this page looks, and I've loved this whole exercise of being able to really explore the different inks, and like me discovering that there is a little bit of shimmer that's happening here. I didn't know that that ink had shimmer, because it doesn't look like there's shimmer in there. But anyway, I love the shading in a White Rabbit. And then Sailor Manyo Kuri was one of my favorite inks in 2025, and you can see why. It's just got so many complex things happening to it. But I think for me, and maybe this is because it was a favorite beforehand, Ooh, I'm thinking Diamine Potpourri. Well, actually, no, I'm thinking any of these two. Either of these two would look really good in this pen. But even if I don't put Kitty Inkpot, the Phantom of Dawn in this pen, I'm thinking the other one that I might put it into because I like it that much. I'm pulling the pen out actually, is my, yes, my Pilot Kakuno in that light blue. Okay, maybe that's helped make the decision for me in terms of what I'm going to ink up. But what do you think? Which of these do you think would be the best fit? And maybe I've just done such a good job that they're all a great fit for this pen. All right, that is it for me. Thank you all so much for watching. This was such a fun exercise, and I cannot wait to actually do this every month. I may not do this with every single pen in my collection, maybe just a select few, but it's still fun to be able to take out all of the inks that could possibly match with a pen and just play around and see what would be the best match. But also just another way to play with your inks because we have so much ink, right? So why not? So in the comments below, let me know which you think would be the best match out of all of these, or if you're like me, you think that they're all absolutely fantastic. But I think, spoiler alert, for February's currently inked, I'm probably going to go with Diamine Potpourri in this one. Yeah, like you can see a little bit there. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Diamine Potpourri. It's really going to bring out the little bit of purple that is in there as well. All right, again, that is it for me. Thank you all so much for watching, and do let me know your favorite down below. Thanks again, and have yourselves a great day.